So today we'll be talking about section 2.6, which is graphs of basic functions. In this section, we will be covering the following learning objectives: continuity, the identity, squaring, and cubing functions, the square root and cube root functions, the absolute value function, the piecewise defined function, and the relation x equals y squared. Let's start with continuity. You can tell a function is continuous if you can draw without picking up your pencil. Here's an example of a continuous function that has no open circles and no isolated points. The function is continuous throughout its entire domain. Therefore, its interval of continuity is negative infinity to positive infinity. Here's an example of a function with a discontinuity. It is discontinuous because it has a break and isolated points. Its intervals of continuity are negative infinity to negative 5 and negative 5 to positive infinity because they're the only parts that are continuous. The identity function is f of x equals x, which pairs every real number with itself. The domain and range of this function is negative infinity to positive infinity. The squaring function is f of x equals x squared, which pairs each real number with its square. The graph of this function is called a parabola. The vertex is where the graph changes from decreasing to increasing. In this graph, the vertex is 0, 0. Its domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. Its range is 0 to positive infinity. The cubing function is f of x equals x cubed. It pairs each real number with the cube of the number. The domain and range are both negative infinity to positive infinity. The square root function is f of x equals the square root of x, which pairs each real number with its principal square root. Both the range and domain are 0 to positive infinity. Remember, the brackets means it includes 0. The cube root function is f of x equals cube root x, which pairs each real number with its cube root. The cube root function can have any real number as its input and output, making the domain and range negative infinity to positive infinity. The next function is the absolute value function. The function is f of x equals the absolute value of x, which pairs each real number with its absolute value. Here, the domain is negative infinity to positive infinity, and the range is 0 to positive infinity. Next are piecewise functions, and you can think of that as a function with multiple parts or pieces. In this example, you can see 3 different parts of a line, but it's still a function. When it says less than or equal to, it's a closed circle. When it doesn't, it's open. The relation x equals y squared is not a function. It does not pass the vertical line test. The graph on the left shows how a vertical line will go through 2 points at a time, making it a relation, not a function.
Created using Powtoon.